tell us in the comments where you're watching from, what city, what state, or even what platform if you're here in the live stream. So, little housekeeping. How is my audio and how is my video? It's kind of windy where we're at, so I may have to shift spots for a second. Hey, Sarah, how are you? How's my audio? Is it okay? I want to make sure my audio is okay. Got some wind hitting my mic, so yeah, the Periscope app. It's still open. It'll be open for a little while. You just can't go live from the app, but you can still view. Hey, Scott. Sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna move my hand away. Hopefully, the audio is still good. Video is good. I'm at a different spot where I would normally do one of these scopes. Typically, I would be on more in that area for 10 years. My office where I worked was on that side. Hey, Eva, how are you? Good to see you. So the COVID restrictions, they're really trying to lift them, but there's a smaller group that's trying to impose more restrictions. So yeah, how's the weather? How's the weather where you're at? So just for point of reference, those are the Mokulua Islands. Sound is good. Okay, cool. So I can zoom in. So that's the Mokulua Islands. You can't see it, but there's actually two islands. There's actually one behind the other. Hey, Bernie. The video's clear. Well, we can thank Caps for that. And then over here, we've got the that's called Rabbit Island. If you've been following me for a while, you may have seen my drone. I've taken my drone over there and I've broadcasted it live. If the team at HAPS allows us to broadcast live with a drone, I'm gonna buy another drone and we're gonna go out there. I'm gonna share that with you guys. Thank you for the super heart, Samantha. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. For point of reference, we are on the windward side of the island. This is where the sun rises. Oh, there's some action going on over there. You guys see the foam action? There's waves going on. What the heck is going on over here? Some swells. Thank you for chiming in, Samantha. Hey guys, real quick, for those that are live, hey Carrie, Barry. What? Wow, I haven't seen you in a while. So for those that are in the live, tell me where you're watching from, what city, what state, even what country. We'd love to hear from you. Kaneohe in the house. Yes, we're on what we would call God's country. Thank you for the award, Tasty. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We've got Melbourne, Australia. We've got Hawaii, of course. Hawaii. We've got Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Newfoundland, Canada. There's some wave action out here. It's good for boogie boarding, for bodyboarding. Huh. It's the first time I've seen wave action in a very long time. It's nice, actually. Well, I'm glad my mic is working. I'm glad my video is. Yesterday, I tried to broadcast from a kind of a remote location. I had issues with the live feed, but I'm not quite sure how to share this out other than within uh, or outside of the platform. But I know in other apps when you go live, it shares notifications. So I'm not sure how that works within the apps platform yet. So it is a beautiful day, and let me show you guys these mountains. So check this out. You can literally. So this is the east side of the island, but look at the backdrop. Look at the mountains behind us. So for those that want a point of reference, I've done a broadcast here before where there was actually a homeless community that used to camp out here. Hey Pablo, how are you? Man, good to see you, brother. But yeah, so I grew up a good portion of my life on this side of the island, and every weekend we had a team that would bring food to our homeless community. Thank you so much, Pablo, for the super heart. Hey Pablo, I was sharing with them when I was within the Periscope app. I flew my drone all the way out to that island multiple times, and I also flew my drone to this island multiple times, and I still have the broadcast up. And actually, if you go into my Twitter account, you'll see my I shared on one of my live stream broadcasts. There are hikes up on these mountains, but they're very limited, only because some of it cuts into private property. If you look closely, once in a while you'll see sheep or rams up on the. It's very rare, but once in a while you'll see them. Though, yeah, very rare. But there's some hikes up here. It's very sketchy because the footprint is only like literally like 12 inches wide on the very top of that mountain on a lot of places. So you don't have a lot of margin for error. So sorry for shaking my. I'm a stickler for trying to hold the camera good. I'm looking in the horizon, and once in a while you'll see seabirds. They'll dive in and they'll fish. I haven't seen any yet. Hey, real quick, just to do a quick latency test. If you guys can help me out with this test, if you can hear my comments, just type up a one. One, I want to do a roll call, but two, I want to see what the response time would be from audio to engagement with you guys. Wow, that's pretty quick. That's pretty awesome. Hey, Dean, thank you for chiming in. Samantha, we're all good. Man, can't complain, you know? What's up, Eric? Well, today is officially Aloha Friday. I probably should have put those hashtags in there, Aloha Friday. But here in Hawaii, when it's Friday, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, we make songs about it. Aloha Friday. We dedicate calling in sick on Aloha Fridays. A lot of people will, if they've got something going on, they'll just, yeah, it's like an early weekend if they take off on Friday. Somebody got really creative with this driftwood right here. They stacked it all together. You know, if you're gonna be, hey Graham, how you doing, man? Good to see you. If you're gonna be homeless, tell you what, Hawaii's the place to do it. What's up, Jordan? How you doing? Hey, how's the weather on your side, bro? It's beautiful on the windward side, bro. I'm a townie now, bro. We got a house out in Townside. We got a four-bedroom, uh, two-bath home out in just outside of, literally outside of downtown, right up on the hillside, the Liha side. So I miss Kailua. What I don't miss about Kailua though is just the drive. It takes you like 30 minutes to go anywhere. Is Oahu affordable? It depends. Now, are you in LA, Pablo, or are you in the San Jose, San Francisco area? If you're in the San Francisco area, it's very comparable to that. Um, if you're in LA, it depends on what part of LA. So I know when my wife and I we were looking at places in Irvine when we were out there. I would say it's probably comparable to Irvine in terms of pricing or San Francisco. Hey Lenny, good to see you, bro. Thank you for jumping in. But I think the median price of a home on this island is around $900,000. So if you want to buy a house, that's about the average of a home on this island. So it's kind of expensive. Um, it's not as expensive as like some other cities, but on a Big Island, however, it's drastically different. Big Island's where the volcanoes are. We were looking at we've got some property on a Big Island, um, and you can still buy land on a Big Island, like a couple of acres for like 40, 50,000. And now some of that land is cheap because of volcanoes. You're in a volcano they call lava zone 2 or 3. Our property is in lava zone 3, which is com- comparably low risk. When you get into the 2, that's a potential risk. And then, of course, lava zone 1 is usually like fresh lava flow within the past 5, 10 years or so. Probably more than that. But if you're going to get a loan, uh, if you're going to mortgage, most lenders will not um, get let you have a loan without insurance, and most insurance companies would not insure a lava zone property. So most guys that buy houses in a like hot lava zones, they typically don't have insurance, and a lot of those guys typically don't have big houses anyway. So if they spend 50,000 on a cottage, it's not a big deal if it So we were blessed. Like the property we got obviously was it was through our family. So we have a vacant. We have some vacant land where there's nothing on it, and I think eventually, when it's time for us to kind of settle or to build another property, another house, then we'll do that. But in the meantime, there's just nothing for us to do there. So we don't mind hanging on to it. Look at these waves breaking out here. It's not often waves break out in the middle of this Bay Area. That's nice. But yeah, there's other islands, but I think for me, my favorite is a Big Island because I think that island is about 5,000 square miles. This island is only 600 square miles, so big difference. The Big Island's got snow, it's got lava flow, got some nice beaches, you got majestic mountains, nice waterfalls, tropical rainforest, and a desert climate. So it's kind of an interesting island where you have a desert, you've got snow. You literally have snow even around this time of the year sometimes. Obviously, you got the lava when it's flowing, and you can do a lot on just that one. Now, there's not a lot of shopping if that's kind of what And the Big Island's got everything. The only thing that Big Island does not have, in comparison to most other islands, it doesn't have a lot of beautiful beaches. It's got a good handful of nice, beautiful beaches. But if you want to be off the grid and isolated and you want a lot of land, you can still do that on the Big Island. The Big Island is the only island, I believe, where you can buy a lot of land and buy it cheap. Hey, Gary. Like, if you want to be totally off the grid and be in a tropical island, that's the place to do it. That's why I'm biased. I'm from there. So now it does come with some caveats to it. Like, for example, there's not a lot of population, so you don't have a lot of choices in some things in terms of prices and stuff like that. Another thing, certain parts of the island tend to be a little bit higher in crime. Um, not trying to scare anybody away, but like where I'm from, what I've heard is that because there's very little law enforcement, that people kind of feel they can do whatever they want. Yeah, and a huge horse ranch. I always wonder what it'd be like to just have like 1,000 acres. Like I have, my uncle has, I think they have like 400 acres on a big island. We we're not that blessed with that much profit. We got some land, but not 400 or 500 acres. So, but man, I would love to be able to just have like 500 acres, 1,000 acres, and just like do whatever you want. Grow your own food. If you want to have fresh like you know produce and fresh like just fresh everything. Like organic beef and all that stuff. Pahoa. So now you get into where I'm from. I'm from that side of the island, the Puna district. I think Pahoa is getting better, but Pahoa does have a lot of the has got a lot of hippies, like people that they love smoking weed and just like cruising. But Pahoa is nice. It's not a very big town. My dad used to manage a bank out there. Matter of fact, he was a vice president of a bank out on the Hilo side, Pahoa side. Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's the same on all islands because it's a state law. But here they're starting to open up dispensaries. So man, there's some swells coming in this bay. I haven't seen that often. I see them popping in there. It's interesting. This guy's trying to open a coconut. If you get a little tip, if you guys want to open a coconut, you don't go against the grain or don't go against the fibers. You want to go with the fibers. He's totally doing it wrong, but that's okay. He's probably having fun. Matter of fact, I'll open up some coconuts for you guys one day. I'll do a full on like how to do it. You know what? I thought I made killer poke, but I really don't. Like I'm such a simple and boring person when it comes to poke. With all the choices out there, I just make simple what I have in my pantry poke. But um, yeah, stick a spike would be much easier. Shucks, you could even use a branch like that, or like a stump sticking out of the ground. But I'm sure he's enjoying himself. So Carrie asked the question if I'm going to make poke. For those of you that know what poke is, type up a one if you know what poke is. It's another. I like doing these latency tests as well. Also, their engagement. But poke is something I used to do quite often uh, early in my live streaming adventures, I guess you could say. So poke is spelled Poke, and a lot of people tend to mispronounce it, and they say Poki, which technically Poki is not the correct. Yeah, two. I forgot to say type two if you don't know. Yeah. So poke in literal translation in Hawaiian is literally a cut or a cube, like what Gary said. It's like diced or cubed raw fish. And Native Hawaiians figured out a way to make use of fish if they didn't feel like cooking it or didn't have a fire. And it's not just, I think every culture around the world that's coastal or has fish, they all have their version of raw fish. But ours, It's not a salad. A lot of companies now they're calling it poke salad. It's not a salad. You can make it into a salad, but it wouldn't be called poke. And so you get fish and you mix it with certain types of ingredient. Very simple. I use maybe 5 ingredients tops. That's about it. This beach starting to fill up with more people. So typically you want to use fresh fish. If you can't find fresh fish, a lot of I would say 90. If I'm gonna throw this out there, but 95% of the poke that you guys eat is previously frozen fish, and part of it is because it's cheaper to use previously frozen, and previously frozen lasts longer as far as you can keep it in the freezer. But there's a difference in texture when you use previously frozen fish. I think I just saw a turtle pop up. Oh, no, I didn't. But yeah, so they do cube fish and they'll mix it with like shoyu. We call it shoyu or soy sauce, sesame oil. Sometimes you can use aromatics. Gary, thank you, bro. Have a good one. We have aromatics like diced onion, green onion. We use an ingredient called limu or seaweed. Some people use sea asparagus, which is what I enjoy. That's actually a very good vegetable to use within a poke. But one thing I tell everybody that your poke it has to be the fish has to be the most dominant ingredient and the star of the show, not the other way around. And a lot of times when you eat out at a restaurant, sometimes they add more ingredients than they do the fish, And but hey, Jason from London, thank you for jumping in all the way from London. It's funny you asked that. Vacation spots, honestly, my and I've only been there once, but it was a vacation. Colorado, man, I love Colorado. And before Colorado, I went to Montana, and I thought Montana was beautiful. I love Montana, but when I went to Colorado, oh my gosh, it's crazy beautiful up there. I mean, there's so much diversity in mountain climates based on elevation, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. Now, typically, a lot of the local people in Hawaii, their vacation spot is Vegas. They love going to Las Vegas or Disneyland, which California. So here's the thing: if you guys have never been to Hawaii and you can't afford to come out here, make sure you click that subscribe button. I'm gonna be doing more of these. I'm gonna try to do at least 3 times a week. I keep trying to figure out a schedule for myself. I want to share this with you guys. If you guys find this content valuable, thank you for subscribing. I'm on pretty much every platform out there, but if Haps is your platform of choice, I'm also on Twitch, YouTube Live, um, Twitter, obviously. But if this is something you want to be able to experience without having to pay, um, just make sure you subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications so you get to jump in live. And I'm all about engagement, so I don't like to just sit here and turn on the camera, but I want to hear from you guys. So winter getaways, not often. I mean, usually around November, December, there's always something that I've got to do business ministry wise. So um, this past December, I had to go to Mexico or Cancun for training. Mike is topping 10%. Getting a phone call. Okay. Well, I gotta jump out of this. I gotta pick up my wife, and I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Hope you're having a blessed weekend. I hope that, well, first of all, thank you for carving out that time of your day. Thank you for choosing to be here. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here. So thank you for that. Thank you for just spending time. I really appreciate it. And I hope that the exchange of that time was worth it. So Come to Louisiana. I would, man. That's my dream, Louisiana. I just had 15 pounds of crawfish the other day, and I couldn't stop thinking about Louisiana. I kid you not. But yeah, so guys, I'm gonna jump out of here. Thank you for spending your time. Thank you for all the awards, the super hearts, all the stuff that you guys gave throughout the broadcast. If you are a subscriber and you support, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I hope you guys roam in the house. What the heck? All right, guys, I got to step out. Thank you again. If I don't see you guys on my next broadcast, as I always say, love you guys. God bless you guys. Ahui ho. Aloha and mahalo. Chew. All right, guys. Aloha.